brake 15 meters later, and increase peak pressure by 20% to optimize
Later
your
and
line
harder.
through this tightening right.
Right, that felt a lot better. We're going to have to take a little bit of curb. Welcome back, everyone. To start off this video, I'd like to thank Trophi.ai for sponsoring this video. Trophi.ai have an app which is a live AI coach. And there's a lot of coaching stuff in there. There's courses within it. There's kind of exercises, techniques, session reports. There's singular lap reports. There's a lot in it. And I'm going to unpack a bit of it in this video. The purpose of this video is going to be kind of like a review, kind of like a showcase. That's the way I want to do the video. So I'm going to do it like that. As this is a sponsored video and a paid promotion, I would like you to just firstly know that. And secondly, know it doesn't interfere with my opinion of it. Firstly, I will say I'm pretty happy with the app. I've tested it out before. I've tested it out kind of maybe a week ago. I'm pretty happy with it, but it won't stop me from saying any if I perceive any strengths or limitations that I'd like to highlight, and I'd like to let you guys know. So I'm going to kind of go through what my experience was kind of first using this. And I've also decided to come here with the Super Formula Lights on Sebring, a track that I love, but it hates me. So let's see if we can kind of repair the relationship on this track. And I like this example because a lot of people, I think, suffer with this. It is a very technical track. It's a super bumpy track. It's a very, 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 very technical track to string a lap together. And then once you string it together, to do it over and over and over again, so the arms, the muscle memory just remembers, and you can start to go on autopilot and really start finding the time. I've never been able to get to that point where I can actually do a race on this track. I've done a couple of races here. They were fun, but no, they weren't fun. I survived, you know, not as fun as, let's say, some tracks that I like, you know. So let's see if this track can kind of change my perception on it, if this app can kind of show me a bit more, and if it can kind of get me up to pace a bit quicker than I would be able to get myself up to pace. So we're going to actually review that part later. If you're interested at all, there is a link down below for a 7-day trial before a monthly subscription kind of thing. So you can click the link down below if you're interested in such a thing. And for those who would like to, there is going to be a little giveaway of 3 3-month trials of kind of Trophi.ai. So if you join my Discord, I'm going to randomly pick someone there, 3 people, and you just make an account and then let me know, and then your account will get activated with a 3-month trial so you can try it out for yourself. So let's get into it. I'd like to firstly just kind of go over what the app is and what it looks like. Firstly, UI, I'm pretty happy with it. It's nice, it's responsive, it just does what you want it to do. That's what you want with UI, I guess that's pretty obvious, let's say. But in here you're going to see lots of different things. So let's jump straight over to home. You know, here you have, let's say, Training Hub. You have the real-time kind of telemetry that pops up. Same with here. You have time trials, which you can select and kind of load up an expert lap. You have mini games, which are awesome, which there's kind of like exercises you can do. Like, for example, here's one about
pedal control exercise focuses on teaching you how to hit a specific brake pressure. To perform this exercise, you need to match your...
So you know what I mean? Like really from the ground up, beginners, intermediate stuff. So that's who I think this is focused for. Obviously, once you reach a certain level, you got to dig deeper maybe than any... It's, let's say it's hard to find a coach when you are already faster than coaches. So that's why I would say beginner to intermediate is what I'm feeling, which is where I am. I like to think of myself as minutely above average. So, yeah. But there's lots of cool different things you can do in here, which I think is awesome. In the coach, we have the Mansell AI, which that's going to be the whole second part of the video, out on track sort of thing. Wait until you see that. I think that's pretty cool. We have the telemetry overlays. Again, this is an on-track kind of thing, so I think that's best if we leave it for there. We have real-time skill analysis. Again, this is out on track, so you'll notice there's a theme here. As opposed to doing a session and then going, making a cup of tea, which, you know, I've had already, and then going, digging through the telemetry, having to hire a coach to show you how to view telemetry. Because I'm not going to lie, for myself, it did take a month or two to figure out which line I was on certain telemetry apps. So this kind of stuff is nice because I'm not really into that whole digging deep in telemetry yet. I do sometimes, and it shows me a lot. I will say that, but I just like to drive, you know, with the short amount of time I have to edit videos, do stuff, you know, I just want to drive. So this stuff pops up and tells you, apex gear, telling you if it was a good gear you were in for the corner, your turn-in point, if it was too late or too early, trail braking technique, if it was too smooth or if it was too sharp, you know what I mean? And general smoothness. We have throttle application, throttle onset, mid-corner, a minimum corner speed, which is amazing because minimum corner speed is one of the things. Minimum corner speed and trail braking is one of my biggest two issues because I know if I can really highlight them, that's what will push me up to the next level. It's not far, but it's just, if I want to get to 3K on iRacing, those are two things I really need to get to grips with and get a lot better at. So it's amazing that we have these sort of things here, understeer control, peak brake pressure, brake points. That's all here. And this is in the skills section, real-time skill analysis. You can book a coaching session if you want to, and they have many, many cool coaches, pretty prestigious coaches from what I've seen. View session report. So as you can see, this is from my last session I've done on the Toyota GR86s at Road Atlanta. You can see I only done 5 laps out in practice. And here it is. It's kind of one of those pentagon diagrams. I don't know what they're called. If you know what they're called, let me know down below. So you can see what I'm strong at, what I'm weak at. Here it is in actual percentages. And here you can see over a lap with all these bundled together for an overall average. So very interesting stuff. You can see the delta here. The session report is nice. Obviously, this is only just information. And it's up to you how to process the information. Some of it might be a bit tacky. Some of it might not be. Some of it you may think, oh, I was a bit better at that. But more information is gold. So if you take the information, for what it is, just information, and then apply it, when is that not helpful? So I'm kind of interested in that. I need more experience with using sort of things like this. I'm really interested in the live feature. So here's my laps. I can click in to view my own laps and see if there's any opportunities for growth here, which I think we're going to see just opportunities here. Yeah. So compared to the expert lap, which you can see here, you can actually click on it and it'll load it up. And you can see here I'm braking way too early, where the expert actually peaks out much higher than me. And I'm off the brakes too early, which means I'm not using all the trail braking. Now, I didn't know that 10 seconds ago. I do now. And if I was using another telemetry app that are boring, they're white, it's just a load of lines on your screen, and some of them even have a video replay feature, they don't have it like this. So, it's up to you to make what you think of it. You see it for yourself. But for me, something like this shows me clearly, wow. So the expert is really benefiting from trail braking up until this point, whereas I just decided to let go of it here. So I'm trying to turn in, scorching my front tires, then I'm going to be crying like a little baby when my tires ain't sticking anymore in 5 laps. So we have the assessment here. You get graded, So let's quickly skip past all these C and Ds. I think I saw a B in there somewhere, but yeah. But now for the cool part. There is also the Driver 61 University, which is just a course basically where you can start and go through it bit by bit. We're going to jump into actually driving and see, can this software help me out? So we're going to load up the coach, telemetry overlay. So up here, you can load up multiple telemetry. So I guess for the sake of, let me see, we're going to add an overlay. Let's add in, there's going to be a few overlays on screen, but that's just because I want to highlight what's going on here. We're going to have throttle. Let's make throttle a little bit smaller. And we are going to have our, I'm going to make the Mansell AI. Here we go. So let's turn it on, enabled, and we're going to have someone else speaking to us here. So let's lower down the in-game volume and we're going to start driving. And as soon as this coach starts getting data, it's going to start feeding me back data and telling me what to do. So when I first heard this, I was like, whoa, this is pretty mad. And when you use it, it is impressive. I will say it is fairly impressive. So let's get out.
Welcome to your session
Give it a drive.
at Sebring International Raceway in the Super Formula Lights. As your AI racing coach, I'll be providing you with tailored advice to enhance your performance on the track. After you've completed a full lap, I'll start receiving telemetry data, which will allow me to give you specific feedback and guidance for each corner. Expect quick, precise advice just before you enter each turn, aimed at refining your technique and improving lap times. Let's aim for a productive session.
Yes. If only someone could tell me that coming into every session. Let's aim for a productive session. Sometimes I go in and just daydream a bit. So this track is very tricky. For those of you that don't struggle with this track, fair play. I do quite a lot. There's some parts of the track I don't struggle with, like here. This bend here. I'm pretty good at that one. But it's just, there's a lot of heavy rotation points and the ground is always changing underneath you. So there we go. Bit of trail breaking into it. I was a lot slower on that corner, but at least I was doing the proper technique. So the Mansell AI now is soaking up a lot of data from me. I'm doing every corner once at the moment. And what I'm going to do is when we cross the finish line, it's going to register my outlap, but it's also going to have the data for the corners. And then we're going to see if we can start compounding and then getting some information. Like this section here, I'm useless at. It's just, I don't see the flow. It's power on, come over here, bit of brakes and hook it in. It's just, I'm not where I want to be at all on this track. Sunset Bend is such a fun bend to get right. You take it too fast, you hit the wall. You take it too sketchy, you go sideways, you hit the wall. You understeer, you hit the wall. You oversteer, you hit the... There's every way you hit the wall. So, you know, but then again, this bend, look at this. You know, what a corner, you know, to just point at the wall, pin it, and, you know, so I want to get good at this. So let's see what Mansell AI has to say for us. Let's see if we can get that delta
aim
down.
For a higher gear and brake 30 meters later.
Okay. Okay, that had us a bit in the limit.
Try holding third gear through this left-hander to carry more speed.
Okay, will do. Okay, that works out a lot better. Second gear is a fool's game there, understood.
Brake 20 meters later and apply 10% more pressure to improve consistency here.
More pressure. No, you see, now, as you can see, there's a lot of strengths to this application. It's really pushing me. One thing I think, it could push a little too hard. So that's one thing you got to know when using a tool like this. It's up to the wielder of the tool to understand, you know, the limitations of a tool. So something that's can be as strong as this.
Increase your brake pressure by 20%, entering this tightening right.
Brake harder. That's lit. That is really lit. Love it. Absolutely love that. But yeah, you gotta watch because it'll
shift down to third gear at the
keep
apex
pushing you.
And brake 15 meters later for better entry
Third
into
gear,
this right
15
hand.
meters later. So right about now. Third gear. Okay. What about here? Speak, speak, speak. Oh no, I want to know that bend. All right, I like that. It doesn't overfill you with information. I think it's just picking the areas with the most opportunities for growth. Big fan of that. But again, it can push you maybe past your limit. So I wouldn't use this in a race, you know? This is designed for practice. So we're going to do fourth gear here, but let's just get this lap down because that felt like a cool lap. Still need a bit of work on that bend, though. So that lap was a 154.5. So fifth gear, tiny bit of brakes.
Brake harder and 25 meters later for this left.
Okay.
Work on being more immediate with brake application.
Right on. We're going to leave it in third gear throughout this section. Hook it in. We know we kind of overdid it last lap. Whew. Okay. It really pushes you. That's one thing I'm liking.
Harder and aim to increase your exit speed by 5 kilometers per hour.
Kilometers, fair enough. I like that. Increase my exit speed by 5 kilometers an hour. That felt okay. That felt good.
Brake 15 meters later and increase peak pressure by 20% to optimize
Later
your
and
line
harder.
through this tightening right.
Right, that felt a lot better. We're going to have to take a little bit of curb. Braking harder into this corner as per the last lap instruction. The telemetries are starting to look a little bit the same
Remember
too.
to brake 10 meters earlier and avoid turning in too early on this right-hander to
Okay.
improve corner entry.
Brake a little bit earlier, turn in earlier. There we go, we can get up in the fourth sooner. What about this corner? Suppose it's trying to get me to nail the first part of the sequence. But all in all, It's working out pretty good. I believe this
Focus
is a
on
clean lap.
braking 20 meters later and ease off the brake 10% earlier for smoother trail braking into this right.
I didn't trail off smooth enough. I think we can keep it pinned here. Yeah. Right, let's see what lap we put in now.
Shift into 6th gear at the apex and ease your brake pressure by
153.4
25% for a smoother entry.
Shift into 6th gear at the apex. Okay, it keeps the car safe. I like that. Bit of 3rd gear here.
Your work on easing brake pressure was spot on.
Hey!
But remember to upshift to 6th at the apex next time for optimal speed.
Oopa.
Nice improvement overall.
Okay, so we kind of pushed a little bit too hard now. We're up into a 153.4. Into something that felt like a pretty cool lap. So let's carry on. Just because the lap is aborted doesn't mean that the AI stops, because it works off distance, as you can see up there.
Aim
It's
to
pretty
brake
cool.
just 5 meters later and delay throttle application by 10 meters to maximize your cornering speed here.
You see now, that's, again, I keep saying the same thing, but this
Nice
app knows how to
improvement on
push
your
you.
entry. Just maintain stronger braking urgency for a bit more precision next time.
The app
Keep it up.
really knows how to push you hard. And again, being mindful that it can push you a little too hard. Now, one thing I'm wondering is what
Improving
is
your
the...
turn-in by starting 5 meters earlier will help maintain momentum through this constant radius right.
Okay, I missed that because I was talking. But I'm going to slow down for a second now. You kind of get the gist of it. The longer I push this, the more I will be able to
Ease
flick
your
time
brake peak
off.
pressure by 20%
Gonna
to
pause
improve
for a
corner entry
second.
stability through this constant radius right and better manage tire wear.
Helping me to manage tire wear. It's pretty cool. So one thing that I'd like to mention that I mentioned throughout. So after driving there for a while, it's obvious that I would be able to shave off time. Way more time with this. It's helping me a lot to get acclimatized to the track, to get used to the track, to build up speed, to really have someone to be like, no, brake later. Or no, you're braking later. Yes, it works, but brake sooner. Watch this, brake sooner, and then wait to get on the throttle. And then you do it, and then you're like, whoa, okay, I see it. So it's nice to have someone there to tell you to just keep pointing. The problem is, it's not a problem, it's a limitation, I guess, that the user should understand, which should be fairly obvious, is that it doesn't know when to stop, you know? So it'll keep pushing you and pushing you and pushing you and pushing you. So you have to know where you're happy and where your own limitations are before you need to maybe stop driving, go into the software, analyze your data, have a look at your different areas of growth, look at your own telemetry compared to the expert, and really just look at it in slow motion. Not everything can be done on the track. So I will say that. The telemetry, the live telemetry is cool. One thing I found is, as a beginner for this kind of software, using live telemetry, the first thing you're going to do is look at it while you're driving. You'll be in a corner braking, looking up, being like, am I doing the same thing as the expert? It's You'll quickly find out that's not what you do. The best way to approach that is to do the corner, pretend it's not there, and then after the corner, when you're on a nice long straight, actually look up and be like, okay, he's braking harder, or I'm braking way too hard. That's why I'm getting that little lock up coming over that crest, or something like that. Or throttle application. Although throttle seems fairly obvious, not as important as brake for some people, they might think. It's nice to know, let's say, for example, on Spa or Rouge or some flat out corners, do I lift? Do I not? The Suzuka S's, you know, is there a lift here? What am I doing? Am I doing a half throttle? Am I keeping some throttle on for certain corners that are low traction, like on the Nürburgring? There's a lot of corners where you keep throttle on. That's nice to see. So throttle and brake kind of telemetry is a very useful sort of thing to have. You can set gears, you can set speed, you can see steering angle, you can see there's really, really cool telemetry here. All in all, there's a lot to have a look at in the software. I will say that. But this is the gist of it. It will constantly show you and show you and show you where you can improve. As you've seen, 15 meters later, 5 meters earlier, it's trying to get you to this sweet spot until you feel the speed, and then your body knows, oh, okay, it can show you. That's what I want to say. That's what I wanted to say. The application can show you what you need to do. Sometimes telemetry software can show you, but this shows you and forces you to demonstrate to yourself live, then and there, seconds before a corner. Brake 10 meters later, getting the throttle 5 meters later, watch what happens. You do it, and it just gets ingrained. So it is cool. It's targeted for beginners to kind of intermediate level, and that intermediate level can go up quite a lot, because for people hunting, time at 3, 4, 5K, 6K I rating, but you don't have a lot of time to maintain a serious I rating like that, you're going up against people who are putting in serious work. I really think this is a very useful tool. Now, where the expert times are done, it's not incredibly obvious. I haven't found yet. I haven't seen that yet. They're probably done, like all expert laps, on ideal conditions, low air temp, low track temp, possibly low fuel, who knows. Does the application kind of adjust to the current state? I don't know. But these are all little things. Again, once you realize these limitations, you're going up against an expert lap with different conditions possibly, but in general, everything is the same. So out of me, it does get a very high score. I'm not going to rate it out of 10 or anything like that. I'm really impressed with it. And if anyone's watching this now who has used kind of different software, I really think you guys should be impressed too. It is quite a cool piece of kit. And one thing I'm really curious to see is where this company will be in maybe 2 years, 5 years, as AI gets better, as data analysis gets better, as taking data and showing it in better ways gets, it all gets better. Trophi.ai does have, more than almost 24 employees, I think. So they really are a company. It's not really a small outfit by any stretch of the imagination. So given this company, 5 years, imagine where it'd be. A year, 6 months. It is moving very fast. And personally, I'll be using it to get up to speed fast. For my videos, for my races, I just hop out on track, 20 minutes with this guy. I'll be where I need to be. So again, guys, thanks very much for watching this kind of review showcase video. And thank you to Trophi.ai for sponsoring the video. Again, there's a link down below if you're interested for a 7-day trial. And come on over to my Discord. I'm going to be picking a random user to give them 3-month trial of Trophi.ai so you guys can try it out yourself. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the track.